The only problem with this map, I got the cartographer stuff a while back, and I made this really nice map. Unfortunately, some of the names on it are too far to see and apparently can't be zoomed in on. But there's a little circle down south of these mountains, right near this that grouping of islands. If you see in the upper northern quarter, north of the Manzilla Sea, do you guys see that cluster of islands on that
Oh,
on
yeah.
see that little
Uh,
see the thing that's due south of this cluster of islands that has a pink circle around it.
think so.
Yeah, that's the city state of Orin, and that is where we are starting off this little adventure, so to speak. Ow! It is a very prosperous city set right on the Azure Gulf, which is a rather prosperous but sometimes tumultuous gulf. It's directly south of the nation of Keoland, which anybody who's played The Ghost of Saltmarsh would recognize. I was running a Ghost of Salt. I actually still am running a Ghost of Saltmarsh for a group of people set on my homebrew world, and so I had to incorporate the country into my land somehow, and so that's up north.
Mm-hmm.
But Orin is a port city. Uh, it's been there for thousands of years. So there's lots of mixtures of architecture from various periods, and you fine folks currently live or work there, depending on what you're doing. You may have arrived there if you come from another nation. Uh, through the roads, through the sea. But you've currently been living and working there for a bit. I imagine, given the information you're about to get, that each of you is mercenaries to some degree or another. Either actively in a mercenary guild or the sort of person who, after whatever else they've been doing for a while, decided that, you know, I think I'm gonna try hiring out for a change and see what happens. The question is, what sort of course do each of you come from at that in that case?
I mean, like background.
Yeah, like I mean, what is your business here in the city? I mean, do you currently have a job here? Are you looking for work as a mercenary? What would lead you to take a job such as the one I'm about to give, which actually uh, might help you out tell you how this has been happening. For the past several days, there's been a lot of talk in the various streets and taverns. There's been some kind of weird curse that's been afflicting those who have been resurrected. It's Some people have been talking about it for a lot longer than that. Down south towards the country of Delator and in the cities and streets of Chult. But this is the first you have been hearing about it here in Orin, as apparently this affliction has been traveling further and further north. Victims have been growing thinner and weaker each day, but slowly and steadily declining towards death. And resurrections for the last few days in the city of Orin have not worked. The temples have been beside themselves, talking and whispering amongst each other about this. And recently, there's been an ad in the paper looking for people. A rather prosperous merchant uh, named Sindra Sylvain has put out a call looking for people willing to investigate this so-called death curse. And those such people would be arriving tonight at her mansion. So, what sort of people are each of you that you would take up such a call?
Well,
If no
I
one's going,
need a
no.
level 2 monk.
Uh, how about we just go from top to bottom here? Grog, what about you?
Um, well, do you want me to do it in character or out of character?
Either way, It's fine if you're still getting to know your character. Feel free to do it out of character. If you feel comfortable and
Oh,
want to work on your play them. Go ahead.
uh, I, I'm Maria. My papa is very ill. My father and I think he has a curse. I want to cure him.
And what is it that you
Did you
normally
get?
do? What sort of training, character-wise?
Uh, uh, he taught me the druidic arts. Circle of the Moon. Uh, I try to follow him. He's great, a great mentor to me.
All right. Next person in line, Pal.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I come from Waterdeep originally, and
There is no point of fact. There's no water deep on this world. Orin here
okay,
would be the closest equivalent to water deep.
all right. So basically, even though Schult is like across the way, there's no
I put a chult and I put some other items like from Forgotten Realms here just because in order to blend in the game into this world, but most of the other actual cities and such like that are all homebrew. Orin is the closest thing that you have to Waterdeep
got you.
in this world.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't be from this specific. I wouldn't be from Orne per se.
Okay.
I would probably be from uh, another major city.
Okay.
Uh, that is probably like a port city.
All right.
Reason being is because I am, well, my family runs basically a shipping company. And from that, I've been aware or been given aware of the situation, basically, of why our goods have not been selling as much.
So
And so,
that might be that you might be from Delator. The port city of Rivenwood might be a good place. Unless you come
mhm.
from a more high tech country, which would be the southern continent. There's some high tech, really big shipping companies down there.
We can go with that.
Let's see. There's Eberus, which is ruled by vampires of all things. Very high tech.
Mm,
We would consider it modern to future technology in our world, concerning to our world. There is the port of Hellspring, which is in the nation of Hellspring, which is generally ruled over by minotaurs. But there's a lot of other races in there, and they have a more industrial revolution feel with some minor strides towards the computer revolution. So there's like basically call it steampunk, verging on a bit higher technology. So they've got a lot of
got
they've
you.
got railroads, they've got steam technology. They were a booming economy right now. They would definitely have room
And you
for
said Del
shipping.
Tor was mostly human?
Uh, no, Delator has mixtures of race. A lot of the places around here have mixtures of races. Delator is what we would generally see as the typical fantasy city. Although Imrucorp from Eberus has been making inroads in there and has been they've got a few cell phone towers set up in Delator. Although most of the citizens do not know what the hell they are. They think that they're like arcane focuses and think they're magical. They don't know that they don't realize that there's technology and electricity dealing with that.
Got you. Well, I'll just stick with Del Tor.
All right.
And,
The port city of Rivenwood would be your best bet.
all right.
I'm going to take a trip to the vampire land, and I'll be right back, guys.
Mhm.
There's actually a mixture of what I refer to as living vampires, which do not are not considered undead. They're actually born as quote unquote vampires, but they they do age and they can reproduce. So they're they're not considered evil by default, nor are they undead, nor would they be hunted by undead. And there's a lot of laws in that country dealing with that. But well, that might come up later, but that's not important right now.
Gotcha.
So you're in Orin right now, wondering what's going on with the shipping stuff. You would,
Yes.
if you haven't been in if unless you've been in Orin for several seasons. Oh yes. One last thing before I move on with this background information that I sometimes keep forgetting to put. Uh, Ollaras has 4 seasons. That's the Eberus calendar, which is one of the most major calendars that goes all throughout Eberus and most of Meeg. Although there's also a Keolan calendar, but I prefer the Eberus calendar myself. Has 4 months, basically one for each season. So we have spring, which is renewal, summer, which is divine after the primary god, the divine light, uh, fall, which is called feasting, and winter, which is called Quer. Quer is the local goddess of death, and she would replace things like the Raven Queen to anybody who wishes to worship such a thing in this world. So the Raven Queen and her shadow elves don't exist here. There is instead Quer, the goddess of death. So there'd be like temples of her, and she appears as kind of like a four-armed skeletal figure, each hand holding a plane of existence after life, such as celestial, abyssal, infernal, and rebirth. So that's something that pretty much everyone on Ollaras would know. All right, sorry. Next person in line, a person whose name I cannot pronounce, who I believe whose character name I also cannot pronounce.
Fleb and Thunk. Thunk.
Yeah,
Thunk is what it is.
Fleb. There we go. You're up.
You can't pronounce.
Just call him vampire.
Hello.
Hello.
So, what about you? What's your character, and what are they doing in Orin currently?
Hold on, I'm trying to get my laptop moved to another room.
All right. Want me to come back?
Yes, please. I'll be right back.
All right. Run. You're up.
Okay, well, Satanta is a simple monk that was raised in the temple in the mountains. She set out to find her way in the world.
Do you think that these mountains would be someplace close to Orin, or do you think you've traveled some way?
Since I'm not that familiar with the world, maybe you could suggest.
All right. Well, the closest mountain range to Orin is the Argantha Mountains to the north. Uh, if in there, there's been a lot of different races. Is a fanatical cult of orcs that's been known to live up there. Ones that you don't really like outsiders. There's supposedly fire newts in places of those mountains. At the very eastern edge of the mountains, there has been known to be uh, hill giants, which are fairly rare in this part of the world. In fact, giants. The only two types of giants that I've ever seen around Eberus and Meeg have been hill giants and extremely rarely stone giants. So people in this side of the world don't know too much about other kinds of giants. They've never seen, like they've heard maybe legends of things like storm giants, cloud giants, fire giants, frost giants,
Okay,
but they've never
question
seen
is,
any.
are there dark elves in this?
Yes. There are dark elves in different places. Some are like in various societies and groups. You'll find drow pretty much like in small sections in different places. Yeah, like any major city, you might probably find a couple of drow. There is the equivalent of an Underdark that's referred to as the Underdark for lack of a better word. Down south in Everest, and they've been kind of hostile towards other nations in Everest, but Drow in general are, this other elves. Most of them like to live and work in more mountainous or underground regions.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is that it was a monastery mostly of elves, a mixture of the drow, uh, high elf,
That
but
sounds
living
fun.
in the mountains.
Yeah, that sounds fun. There can easily be something like that in there. I will make a note of that. What would your character be doing here in Orin?
Um, I would say just trying to find her way in the world right now.
All right. What about you, Mike?
I am Devin Spooks extraordinaire. I come from a city. Uh,
Do you come from this city, or
I
do you come
have.
from a major nearby country, or what? What do you think?
I come from a city not on the map. How about that? Just kidding. Where did you say we started at again?
The city,
Or
the port city state of Orin, which, if you look at see that group cluster of islands that forms a gulf directly south of Keeland, there's that little
yeah.
pink circle or half circle rather down below that. That's where Orin is located. Unfortunately, I don't think you
Uh,
can zoom in close enough. That's the one problem I have with that cartographer thing. It's like I'll write down the things and think that, but then when I go to like save it as a file, I finally realize the names are much too small on the map.
so from Keeland, what's that major city right in the middle?
That would be the capital, Madronis. Uh, it would be the Ollaras equivalent to Rome. It has been the capital city of multiple nations and empires, and the most current kingdom is Keoland. But it has been around for many thousands of years, has lots of attracts many races, um, has a current let's see, yeah. Actually, currently at this age, there'd be a current political upheaval. Uh, I'm not. I can't really get into it because there's a chance that my players on Wednesday night, which are 2 years before you guys, uh, might actually stop it. This is the year 2120 on this world. Uh,
Well, anyway,
and
well,
they're
I haven't been home for a while anyway,
okay.
so
So yeah, if there's
let's say I'm just from
upheaval,
there.
okay,
Let's just say I'm from there.
that works.
But I joined the circus to get out of that because my family were all magic users and
And
they
and
all had high hope, and I cannot do magic.
they wanted to send you to the magic college, and you said no, and that magic was not for you. You couldn't do
Give me,
spells.
give me one second.
There is a very prominent magic college in Madronis. So, how's everyone else's week been going?
Sorry, we're trying to figure out my wife's work thing.
Oh no, that's okay.
She has to take classes also. No, but anyway, so they tried to send me to the college.
Okay.
I failed out.
Yeah, I guess
It was more of
the headmistress probably was not happy with you in your work. Either that or you
it's
burned out
more of
burned out
being
a
a
lab.
slacker, and then rogue abilities happened, and yeah.
Tried stealing from people, and they now probably have your picture up in the hall.
But anyway, so I joined the circus, and I've been traveling around. Uh,
Does your
our
circus
latest
have a name by chance, or do you just say you travel with the circus?
We are the circus that travels. That's our name.
Okay.
The circus travels.
Not to be confused with the traveling circus.
Well, we are a traveling circus.
All right.
But anyway, so I've come to this port town. We've come here for a showing, and then our who was it? Ringmaster, not to be confused with other ringmasters, fell ill and sick,
Ba-da-ba.
and well, we tried to get him raised. That didn't work out that well.
Oh, interesting.
So now we're going. No, so now I've been tasked to go and figure something out.
Nice. And so now we're back to you, Fleb.
This might need to be charged.
Yay!
This might need to be charged,
Okay.
but right here, let's turn on. Sorry, just go ahead, Flip. I was talking to my wife. Sorry.
Mute your mic then. Dang. Right. So we're on this island here.
No, you're on the main continent of Meeg. You're in the port city of Oran, which is a small city state. Due
Oh, I
south
see the
of
half circle.
due south of the Archer Gulf, which is that collection of islands.
Okay. So basically, we're just trying to figure out why I'm there.
You're trying to figure out, yeah. Do you live in Oran? Are you passing through? What would motivate you to take a job dealing with this thing that's being referred to as the Death Curse, which has been spoken about only in the last couple days here in Oran? It's actually seemed to start a few weeks ago, and it was first noticed down in places like Chult and Rivenwood.
Then I say, since I'm a previous soldier and have nothing else to do in the barbarian realms, I guess I kind of just showed up for a job.
All right, good enough reason as any. So, all of you pretty much find yourself outside this mansion. It's a rather nice mansion. It's easy to tell that while it's newer architecture, it's newer construction. It's been done in such a way to mimic some of the older styles. Uh, from what you understand, this person, this Sindra Sylvain, used to be a merchant and adventurer. She became fabulously wealthy and retired. Pretty much what every adventurer hopes to do at some point. When you get to her nice home, a uniformed attendant leads the group of you up a grand staircase to the third floor and ushers you to a wood-paneled room with a fireplace, comfortable chairs, and a heavy table, all bearing goblets and bottles of wine. The darkly paneled walls are hung with maps and sea charts. Racks, shelves, and cabinets hold hundreds more rolled up maps and charts. A person is seated in an overstuffed chair near the fire. You can't really discern the gender because only the person's head emerges from under a heavy blanket draped over the chair, and an embroidered hood with silver mask conceals the wearer's face. Even the person's dry, raspy voice provides no clue. Help yourself to the wine and seat yourselves, friends, if I can call you that. What do you do?
Thank you. Aria goes, sits down. She ignores the bottles of wine. For now, anyway.
Mel kind of slinks over to the side and just watches everyone.
Devlin Spooks drops right into a chair.
I guess I will simply ask if she would like a glass of wine as I will pour the glass before sitting down.
Thick will just pull out his axe and start sharpening it.
Aria is growing more nervous by second as she keeps glancing over to this giant Goliath and his axe.
So then, you have called us here for a reason. What is that reason you've called us here, Madame?
Does anybody else get distracted by the whatever's someone's watching?
Sorry, I forgot that I was muted. Uh, she she says, "Thank you for coming. My name is Sylvain," and she coughs a bit. And as she lifts up her mask to take a drink of the wine, you see that the bottom part of her face is a bit dis. It, it appears like the skin is practically flaking off underneath there. It looks like it's very disfigured. I'm sure by now you've heard the rumors about the death curse.
We have actually why we're
Yeah,
here.
yes, that's why I'm here. Aria just is kind of closing in on herself, trying to make herself look smaller, which is very hard for a 7 foot tall
Aww.
furblog.
Out of character, I'm finding her very cute, and I want to hug her and wrap her in a blanket and give her hot chocolate.
Thank you. She has that effect.
In character, the masked figure just kind of seems to be eyes seem to be bearing into your soul from behind the mask, probably making you feel even more uncomfortable. But she turns her head again towards towards Dazzle and Devlin. I was an adventurer years ago, and I was killed. But my companions chose to raise me from the dead. That's when I decided it was time to retire. But now, with this death curse, it has struck me. I don't know how much longer I have. And she once again lifts up the mask a bit to sip her wine. And she coughs, pushing the mask back down. The clerics have no help to give. They're stymied as to what happened. I've learned through contacts that the cause of the death curse is some kind of necromantic artifact known as the Soulmonger. And they think that its source might be in Chult. She takes another sip from her wine.
The elven female just intently tilting her head.
It's a bit to the south. It, some people think it's a peninsula, others just call it an island. If it wasn't for the strait, it would be a peninsula. But it's ringed with mountains, and it's choked with rainforests. There are supposed to be the biggest and most fierce of all reptiles and, well, dinosaurs and savage goblins and other races that haven't made peace with anybody all throughout the place. And if that wasn't enough, I've heard there's undead prowling its jungles. There's not even any full maps of the place. However, if I don't know how many of you have heard of Imru Corp. Then she pauses for a moment, expectantly, waiting to see if any of you know anything.
No,
About a
no,
what?
ma'am.
They're a company from the continent of Eberus, Emlarin, I think. They've been setting up camp recently in Port Nazir of Chult, and have been determined to map the area. You might be able to contact some of their representatives to get more maps. Uh, when you're ready to depart, I can teleport everyone to Port Nazir. It's the largest city on Chult that's still known to be active. Uh, they they used to be a mighty empire, from what I understand, but the capital was lost over 50 years ago, and some say that it was as long as many as over 100 years ago that no one's really heard from them. But Nazar, the port has been active for centuries, and it's still going strong. Uh, once we're there, uh, I'll be staying with a friend, Wakanda Otami. He's one of the merchant princes that rule the city.
Satanta eyes each one expectantly to see what they do.
Well, I will take the challenge because I definitely need this for my friend and ringmaster Kevin Smith.
Not the ringmaster run 'em up.
Well,
Uh, uh,
I am.
I, I, I'm ready to go now. I don't have much, and I have all in my bag. She kind of pats her bag toward by her knee.
Well, the only thing I really have to ask is how are we going to be rewarded?
uh,
Not necessarily
well,
saying that rewards are.
I have plenty of magical items to provide you with uh, once you find the source of this this soulmonger, the source of the death curse. And I will provide each of you with one upon completion of the quest.
Well, that definitely seems fair. Is there anything else that we should know before we leave?
She seems to be thinking for a moment. I I don't know, but you might want to buy things like bug repellent and make sure you have plenty of water when you go into the jungle. Food might be easier to come by than water in there.
I, I have a spell if we that lets me create water from droplets.
Oh, that is excellent. That should help you guys out a lot. At this point, she pulls out a map uh, and hands you guys a copy. Now, the map is nearly 100% accurate, but you'll see the location called the Shining Sea on there, along with a couple of island. The Shining Sea and the Great Sea. Please ignore those references. Instead of the Shining Sea, the map would show the Manzala Sea. Um, because that's where the actual sea that's here on Ollaras. The Shining Sea happens to be from Waterdeep.
Guys, I want to go to the Sky Lizard Mountains instead.
I want to go where the vampires are.
That might be the Kobold Mountains.
People would run from a Goliath vampire. I'm just saying.
If you have your heart set on vampires, you should talk to the people at Imru Corp. They have vampires in their midst. They're from Imlarin, after all.
Yeah, but then I had to find a special cloak to cover me. It's not worth the time.
She nods a bit and coughs again, then
Uh,
lifts up her mask to finish her wine.
eyebrow at the Goliath.
What'd you say, Ren? I'm sorry.
I said the elf just raises an eyebrow at the Goliath.
Wouldn't you want to fight for eternity?
I'd rather not.
The elf just slowly shakes her head.
Well, to each their own.
Aria is kind of looking a little more terrified of this Goliath.
Don't worry.
She's stroking her tail to calm herself down.
It's like, don't worry. We'll be certain to get this mission done and over with quickly. But
That would be.
while drums happen in the background.
If if I should perish before you get the chance to complete this quest, I will still. I will leave instructions with a retainer to still reward you.
Um,
I don't know how long I have. I don't know how long this will take.
Well, can we get half the payment up front then?
I'd like
Roll
to.
a persuasion check. Mike, can you mute, please? Uh, persuasion, not deception.
Roll
So
persuasion.
I did. It's a 12.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at. For some reason, it didn't move down. I was still looking at this earlier deception roll. That didn't even show up on my thing. Sorry about that. There we go. Persuasion 12. Ooh, I like that. I like that plugin. So she kind of nods and says,
I just want to ask, how do you do that?
"All right, I'll give you 50 gold each to help with your expenses in the port."
Okay, can you please say that one more time?
She said she'll give you 50 gold each.
I'll take it.
Thank
Copycat.
you.
All right.
Like I said, we will complete this mission with post haste.
Before we do leave, I would like to use my divine sense just to see if I find the presence of either anything evil or heavenly.
All right. Do any of you qualify for that? Because you're not picking up anything from either your patron here or any of her servants that are nearby.
I am a
Nope.
human. So no.
Okay.
Nope, I'm just a regular furblog.
I'm going to take that as a no. Everyone is human. No one's undead, or or very
Well,
holy, or you know, very
it's just
evil.
the presence of strong evil or
Yeah,
uh, powerful good. That's all.
yeah. So there's like no couch. There's no shroud in the room or anything like that, and there's no angel in the room either.
I hope not.
Well, hey, sometimes it happens. That sometimes it's a hook and reversal. You never know. But anyway, so she's standing up. She's put down her now empty wine glass, and is in the process of creating a teleportation rune. Are you all ready?
Dozel finishes his wine, sets the glass down.
I am ready.
And
I stand up and prepare to wherever we need to.
Yes, ma'am. Aria stands up. She grabs her bag, holds it closely, her tail's wrapped around her leg. And she's definitely shying away from the Goliath, whose name she hasn't learned.
Or any of our names.
No,
We're just going in as blind.
well,
once
my name is.
after we all save each other, well, I guess we'll have introductions.
Why wait for that?
We're dying.
Ought to be interesting.
There might not be any saving. You never know.
All right. So as she completes the circle and grabs all your hand, it basically pulls you guys all in. This is what happens. You appear in a tropical city underneath the two moons of Ollaras. The close by red moon, Grethel, and the further away blue green moon of. Sorry, I'm forgetting the name of the moons right now. The closer red moon and the further away blue green moon. Uh, you hear the familiar sounds of a harbor: creaking ropes, slapping waves, heavy barrels rolling across cobblestones, mingled with the voices and shouts and cursing in an unfamiliar language that's filled with clicks, inhalations, and a sing-song words that make it sound almost like music. Mixed in there, you also hear snatches of common. It seems that you're not going to have any problem communicating with the locals. The aroma of unfamiliar spices and tropical fruits mix with the wharfside smells of fish, tar, and canvas. Beyond all that, Ni- sorry, Port Nyanzaru is an explosion of color. Buildings are painted in bright shades of blue, green, orange, and salmon pink, or their walls are adorned with the murals portraying giant reptilian-like creatures and mythical heroes. Every building sports baskets and clay urns of colorful flowers, or is draped in leafy flowering vines. Minstrels in bright clothing adorned with feathers and shells perform on street corners. Multicolored pennants and sun awnings flutter atop the city walls. A crowd of children dressed in feathered hats and capes race past you, squealing in delight and terror as a street performer, costumed as a bright-toothed lizard, stomps and roars behind them. The whole city seems to be bustling, sweating, laughing, swearing, and singing. Sindra kind of looks at the group of you and says, "Well, here we are. I recommend that you find rooms either at the Thundering Lizard, if you're looking for a good time, or Kaya's house if you just want a good night's sleep. You'll find both the Red Bazaar, at which point she gestures in the proper direction to basically show you where the Red Bazaar is. Uh, I'm gonna be heading this way," and she gestures towards a rather nice villa nearby. That is where I'll be if you still need to talk to me anytime soon. Uh, Good luck. And with that, she begins to head off. The humidity, it's currently renewal 12 in terms of months. The current day, which makes it early spring. But it is very hot here. You are practically on the equator. Down. Well, you're not quite on the equator at the port, but you're very close to the equator. The equator is somewhere south of you. Uh, and it is just swelteringly hot. Even though the sun is no longer in the sky, sweat is starting to cling to your bodies and roll down your backs or cling to the light bits of fur that exist on your body, such as with you, Arya,
Mhm.
and gather at certain spaces around your tail, which is always unfortunate. You do
The
see,
reason she has that tail is to swat away the flies.
yeah, you do see. In addition to humans around, you do see lizard folk, which is fairly common in this neck of the world. Uh, Unlike other similar worlds, Ollaras, at least through Meeg and Eberus, well, mostly Meeg, does have some good populations of lizard folk mixed in with the humans. This has been the case since the days of the Mulam Empire, which ruled over this section of the world. It was based out of Madronis and originally owned places like Orn and Chult, and went all the way down to Glamourpool, all the way down through Rivenwood, even through Eberus, all the way down to the very southern part of Eberus. But it fell apart over 2,000 years ago and just basically left minor kingdoms and other empires in its wake. But, the lizard folk are still fairly commonplace among them. So you see lizard folk of various colors, mostly greens and some kind of more purplish hues, uh, also wearing bands of feathers, walking around amongst the human neighbors here. So, what would you guys like to do now?
I,
Okay.
I I think I think we should go to get a room. I'll be going to Kaya's. I I want sleep.
The elf kind of looks herself over at her clothes and just kind of tugs at them, seeing if anyone notices her.
Roll a
I
perception
say
check.
we look. I would say we go to the one of the bars or taverns that she mentioned and get some information about where we're going because our map was taken away from us.
To find your map again, uh,
Never mind.
you look in the journal, and there should be a thing called player handouts under chapter 1. You
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, cool.
My bad.
No, no, no,
Exited out of it.
no, that's okay. It's like anybody who's new to Roll20, I will definitely help you out finding things that are second nature to me. So if you're looking for a map, looking for anything else, just let me know.
Around what time of day is it?
It is evening. The moons are in the
Okay.
sky. Its sun's already set.
I take it there aren't as many supply shops that would be open right now.
It looks like a lot of people are in the process of like closing down shops for the day and heading out into the streets. Even the street performers are starting to close up their performances and head to the nearest watering hole or heading home at this point.
All right. Well, those will probably just suggest to check in at the inn and then maybe head to a bar to try to gather more information.
I guess while they do that, I'm gonna find a. Did you say there was a weapon shop?
All right, here is the port. Let's see. from this direction. Trying to remember where you guys are at the moment. I believe you are. Let's see. You're in the harbor ward, which would
We're in
be
the most inconvenient
down
location.
here. She pointed out the red ward towards you guys, if I believe. Red Bazaar. That's right. Which on the map is. I hate when it's hard to read the things. Because there's the merchant's ward. She was heading into this direction. The Red Bazaar.
I assume that the Red Bazaar would be the one with the kind of red top, like the blue top with the red,
Probably. Let me see.
almost like a circus tent.
But see, that's where the harbor ward is. That right there is the merchant's ward that you put a thing on. Let me move that down there so it's easy for you guys to see. Merchant's ward. There is the other places you guys haven't learned about yet. Oh, that's right. The Med Bazaar is not a ward. That's right. I think I went through this the first time I ever played through this. Give me 1 second. So she pointed you. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I thought it once again that this was the easier place to look up. I hate when that happens, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Devlin Spooks is an understanding and gracious practitioner of the magical arts of the street.
So, what? Oh, there it is. The Red Bazaar. Now I see it. So she would have pointed you in. Where? Stupid numbering system on this map. At least it's not as bad as some of the more current maps, which are hideous for this sort of thing. Ah, there it is. It's down here. She pointed you in this direction, towards the market ward.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna head there and see if they have any toys to play with.
Aria's going to head for Kaya's house of repose because she's tired, because she knows she wants sleep.
Alrighty then. So, you get to Kaya's house. And you see a rather pleasant looking local woman with nice dark skin and dark hair and just some chocolate eyes to complement all of that. And she smiles warmly at you. Hello, I don't think I've seen one of your people before. What can I do for you?
Uh, I need a room for, please.
All right. I can give you a room for the night for only a gold.
Does it come with a meal?
Yes, it does. We have some rather nice fruit and fresh fish in the morning.
Okay. I will take one room. Does it cost extra to have a bath drawn?
If it is a bath you were looking for, there is a public bathhouse not too far from here.
Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Just
I'm so sorry,
the
my
room,
dear.
please.
Perhaps one day I will have a bath to provide my guests as well, but I find that most are quite fond of the public baths. I'm sorry that this is not to your liking. And she looks genuinely saddened by not being able to help you. And she like
Aria's
takes your
Aria's
oh, go ahead.
sorry, Aria's kind of noticing her her lack of feeling sorry. She's kind of starting to feel a little embarrassed. Her tail's coming around, her body, like protectively, like she's nervous.
And
Okay,
she will take your gold and provide you with a key to your room.
all right. Aria pays the gold, takes the key, and goes to her room for the night.
And what are the rest of you fine folks doing?
Okay, the elf is looking for is had followed towards the marketplace looking for a clothing store.
All right.
I'm also Devlin Spooks is also going toward the market because if he doesn't get a chance to get some wares at the moment, he always has a chance to get some coin. Don't ask.
So
The less you know, the better.
you do find a clothing store. It's unfortunately closed at this hour, but it's called Fabulous Lizards. And you see in
Fabulous lizards.
yes, and you
Nice.
see in the window basically various mannequins, both of general humanoids, mostly normal human and slash elven sizes, and some that appear to be catering towards lizard folk, with the bodies with the tails and all that.
Any prices on these or just display?
Sadly, just this display in the window, you just see the latest fashions. You don't see any indication of price from this vantage point.
The elf takes note of this and search to see if there's any uh, hours of operation.
Roll an investigation check.
Initiation?
Investigation.
Oh, investigation. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, nice.
First nat 20 of the of the game. So you spend some time searching around the doors, and while you don't actually find hours of operation, you do take note on the street that all of the businesses seem to shut down right around sunset. Because all of them are equally closed off at this time. That it's not just this place. So it stands to reason, given this sort of arrangement, that the place will probably open just a bit after sunrise. That's that sort of city that it's sunrise to sunset for shopping.
And then elf will take note of this and look around, see if there's any other businesses open, preferably somewhere to possibly find some food and see if there might be a forge open somewhere.
All right. So I'm going to take on that investigation check. You quickly see the locations of both the Thundering Lizard, which appears to have a rather lively crowd currently gathering at the bar, and the House of Repose, which has a small eatery attached to it, which seems to be much quieter. People are just like quietly coming in and enjoying a meal. There are also various street vendors. You see a couple of lizard folk in a cart, like selling off what appears to be some kind of fried dish on a stick to the various crowds that are coming by. You even see a tabaxi selling fruit out of a cart that looks like they're perfectly ready to eat.
Is there a place of repute open right now?
Hmm. Let's see. Do they have a specific ill recruit to place in the guide? I'm just
I
want to see.
just spit it out. Looking for a brothel.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to remember if there's an actual, honest to God, brothel written into the port, or if I'm just going to add one in.
I'm kind of thinking that there's probably not one written in.
You'd be surprised. Some of these guides, some of these games do have do have them, but
Really? Okay, I'll have to check that out sometime.
uh, yeah. Sorry, I just got.
Where's the villa at that our fund requester or adventure requester went to?
That would be up there where you guys put the red line over the more.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, a House of Ill Recruit. So you're also gonna roll me an investigation check to see if you locate one.
I am not a doctor, so this will not be okay. 10.
You'd spend some time looking around the market ward and looking a bit around the surrounding area, and you might have looked right at one, but you can't tell for certain. You're having a hard time
Okay.
figuring anything out in that sense.
Then can I find the rowdiest bar around right now?
That would most definitely be the Thundering Lizard.
I'm going there then.
The monk will actually go to the street vendors, the lizard folk, to get some fried food on a stick.
And they both the lizard folk, one of the lizard folk vendors, a mostly green but with a purple frill, kind of gazes at you and just kind of nods. What can I get for you today?
She kind of looks over, see what they have.
We have some nice fried fish on a stick. We have some fried. They kind of hold up what appears to be a smaller lizard, but not anything that looks like a lizard folk. But it's like what you would see like a gecko or something like that. We have some of these on a stick. And then one of them pulls out. Pal, there's a lot of noise coming from your end. Do you think you can
Sorry, my bad.
quiet your mic, maybe? Thank you. Sorry, this is the biggest distraction with having ADHD as a GM. That I get easily sidetracked by small noises. And the other thing that you see is what looks at first like a stick that's dripping with honey or something on those legs, but there are a lot of insects on that stick that are essentially sticking to the viscous, sorry, not viscous, the very sticky substance that's on there. And we have ants on a stick. What can we get for you?
The elf kind of scrunches up her nose and shakes her head at the ants on a stick, but she looks at the other ones and she points to the fish on a stick.
Yes, fried fish. Very good, very nice. That'll be 5 copper, please.
She reaches into her uh, bag and pulls out the 5 copper to give to them.
And you are given a stick of a really nice looking fried fish. It's got the stick that's going right up through the mouth, to the back of the tail. This has been like dipped and fried in something.
She looks at it and smiles and nods her head. And then she takes a bite. Going to assume that it's full of flavor.
Now, this is what I usually have my players do for a food they haven't tried before. I have them roll a Constitution saving throw to see if they, potentially like it or if they might be allergic to it. Food allergies are always a
Oh,
potential problem.
Constitution save then?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're not allergic to it, fish really is not to your liking. It's not sitting well in your stomach.
It did not agree with you, so you need to find a bathroom stat.
She kind of, maybe I should roll a deception to see if I could hold my composure.
You can.
As she kind of tries to hold herself together,
One of the lizard folks the one that sold you the stick, kind of tilts its head to the side. Ah, you did not seem to enjoy that. Perhaps you would like to try the ants, and it offers up the honey stick with the ants on it. Only one copper.
oh, she holds her hands up and shakes her head, and she points to the fish as, and then taps her stomach. She smiles and nods as in thanks.
So while this is going on, Fleb and Pal, what are you two doing?
Well, since it's nighttime and every shop is closed, I think I'm just gonna go to a tavern and drink myself into a stupor.
Okay. And what about you, Pal?
Oh, I forget. I'm actually, well, since all of the stores are closed, I guess I'll try to find an inn that is of better quality.
So it would probably be the Kaya's house of repose.
Okay.
And the rest of you, Fleb and Mike, you guys are at the Thundering Lizard. The look of things.
Yes.
So I will be checking in on the Thundering Lizard, and then I'll finally go back to you with at Kaya's house afterwards. Okay. So the Thundering Lizard is quite a raucous bar. It seems like everybody who just wants to cut loose and have a good time is packed in here. Um, you see a lot of humans, various lizard folk, a couple of tabaxi. You even see a rather kind of yellowish skinned goblin sitting at a back table. Uh, Now, for most of you who have known goblins, possibly, a lot of goblins live in the eastern part of Meeg. Most of them tend to be green skinned, and they come in various. They come in all flavors. Like some of them are like okay people, and other ones are like make you want to watch your pockets. So goblins are like a very mixed bag to a lot of people. But in this particular one that you see in the corner happens to be rather yellowish skinned. In terms of other races in here, there are a few more darker skinned dwarves, uh, which makes the one albino dwarf nearby stand out like a sore thumb. Uh, there are several, besides the local human variant, which is fairly dark skinned, you do see some more paler skin from, the more continental Meeg areas of humans in this place. Let's see what else would be there right now. A few darker skinned halflings. Uh, and that's probably about it at this point. And now we have both Mike and Fleb in there. Fleb, I believe, or Thunk, You're the only Goliath in this entire place, and that makes a few people turn around and look at you as you enter.
Hold on, I can't really hear you. You're very quiet.
Sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
So people are giving you looks because you're the only Goliath in this place. It's possible they've never seen one before.
I'll just ignore him, go straight to the bar, and ask for a pig of ale.
All right. There's actually two.
Wait. Did you say a pig of ale?
Yep.
There's actually
Okay.
two bartenders at this hour. One is a human, and the other is a lizard. Which one do you go up to?
I'll go to the lizard.
The lizard is wiping out a glass and looks over at you. What can I get for you?
Give me some ale and a pig.
Ale and a
And
pig.
if you're wondering what a pig is, it's just it's like a mini keg.
Ah, the lizard nods. Thought you meant pork for a moment there, and just kind of turns around and starts talking in the local language. You hear again a mixture of that local language, which is very musical and has some rather odd things that you don't hear from most other human-based languages in the area. Uh, sorry, from in places like Meeg and Eberus, which both speak the common tongue. Uh, but you also do hear the common tongue around, so you just hear people chatting away at various tables and such. After a moment, one of the people in the back, another human, comes bringing back a full pig and sets it on the counter. Will this be sufficient for you?
It will. Give me 2 glasses, please.
Glasses as well. All right. 1 gold for the pig, please.
Flip one onto the table.
Would you like any food?
No, thank you. The ale will be enough. Then Thick will turn around and um, Devlin's supposed to be in here, right?
Yeah, Devlin, I think you're probably at this point you've walked in, not able to find what you were looking for out there.
Yes. I've walked in, and then as everyone is looking and staring at Thunk, I move through the crowd, like slowly picking pockets as I can, and
Sleight
just
of
doing
hand,
it.
please.
11.
Ooh.
But then
Most of
as I
them,
go to,
most of them don't see you.
okay, was there is a you
The
said
one
there's a group of,
the one person who does see you, who catches you picking their pocket, basically just grips your hand, digs their kind of claw nails, since they're a lizard folk, into your wrist, and just kind of whispers over to you in comments, saying, "I wouldn't try that here again, friend."
oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was my pocket.
And just kind of gives you a knowing look, but doesn't report you to anybody.
And you said there's a group of goblins or
There's a single yellow skinned goblin over in a corner. Uh, the takings, all the told from various coins, is 5 gold.
nice. Uh, is there anyone else who stands out besides the albino elf or the yellow skinned goblin?
You mean the giant in the room?
Other than the giant, but you came in here with that giant.
Yeah.
1 second,
By the way,
please.
Thick will follow Devlin with the 2 glasses in the ale.
Give me a perception check.
Who?
Mike.
Uh, finally, 21.
All right. So, you do happen to notice a couple of tabaxi in the corner, which isn't an unusual thing. But they appear to be the only tabaxi currently really in the room, so they do kind of stand out. Uh, you notice another dwarf with who's also rather light skinned but not quite an albino. With a rather blonde beard with what looks like scars all over his bald head.
Hmm.
Those are the only other ones that stand out to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna go close to the yellow goblin and say in thieves' cant, hello there. Where can I find the local ragamuffins? But in reality, what Thunk is listening, he hears the crow flies throughout the wind.
High or low?
Hi.
The goblin looks up for you at you with its yeah. Looks up at you from their drink and just kind of stares, just blinking their eyes.
My mistake then.
They appear to have
Let's
no idea
find
what
a
you're talking
table.
about.
Let's find a table, Thunk. And I think from here we can go ahead over to the other people.
All right, so
What,
back.
no brawl? You don't want to get into a fight?
Do we have someone else with us at the Thundering Lizard?
Not at the
No.
moment.
I think you're Satanta, which is outside looking over the street vendors.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Satanta.
was looking at I was just liking the chat in Roll20, so yeah, I think I'm done for now.
Okay.
While we kind of drink together.
Oh, and I think I figured out where the extra noise is coming from. Run. Uh, if you can look at the top of your Roll20 screen, you see that gear icon. Scroll down and go to the section that says I want to broadcast to others, I want to receive from others, and set that to nothing disable on both, because it's indicating that that there's noise going into Roll20. And I think somebody else might have their thing open, which is causing a lot of noise bleed over.
Okay, I think I got it now.
Okay, cool. Let's see, where was I?
You also have to hit reset so it actually
Yeah, reload.
mutes
That's right.
everything.
Where do I find that at?
You just basically reload your page at that point.
Mm.
There you go.
It's also at the bottom of the
Or yeah, there
gear
should be a reconnect
section.
at the bottom of the reconnect as well. But reloading is also efficient. This is also the reason I like communicating on Discord, because if somebody either hits the wrong button or has to reload, that they don't lose any information vocally. Okay, so you are still outside, and you're going over to see what the Tabaxi has to offer. The Tabaxi has various kinds of fruit there on them, and kind of grins and beams as you come close. Looking for something good to eat?
She looks at the fish and then looks at their fruit and kind of shyly nods.
Well, have no fear. I have I have fruit for you. And just kind of holds up some various colorful fruits. One is kind of like red with what looks like little bumps all over it. Another one is a rather green and tough-skinned fruit that seems to be holding up towards you. So what can I offer to you today? Are you trying to
Anything,
try something new?
anything look like it would be from the mountain regions that Satanta would have came from?
Both of the fruits do not look familiar to you. If they definitely look like they're something that probably grows here naturally in Chult.
She points to the red one with bumps.
Would you like to try some?
Sure.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing. You're very quiet as well, Run. I have you boosted up to max, and I'm still having trouble hearing you.
It's because he muted his mic so he couldn't hear all the noise.
Uh, well, let me see what's going on with that. Okay, how's that now?
Ah, that's much better. I can definitely hear what you're saying. So you're pointing at the one with the red one with bumps.
Correct. Pointing at that and looking at him with her big brown eyes.
Is this what you want? And it offer the tabaxi offers you the fruit.
And she nods and holds out her hand for the fruit.
This is Zasta fruit. I hope you enjoy, and charges you a copper for it.
She pulls out a copper and gives to him as she takes the fruit.
All right.
She also gives it a try.
So that's another Constitution saving throw. Yes.
Oh,
It seems like you're not having too good of a time eating things here in Schult.
talk about a very sensitive stomach.
Yeah, everyone's good with good berry. Good, you can't get allergic reactions from good berry.
Welcome, welcome to the good berry. After tasting it, she kind of just smiles and shakes her head.
Not to your liking, I see.
She just kind of rubs her stomach.
I'm starting to feel bad for Satanta. Well, at least you're not allergic to them. Let's go with that.
Yeah, that is true. I haven't broken out yet.
Yeah, because serious allergy reactions can be damaging to your character. There's still no character has died from allergic reaction yet, but yeah, one character did get really close to dying from drinking acid, but he saved on his Constitution saving throw. I don't know why he did it either. I described it, I basically described him opening a supply closet and these clear glass jars that held some sort of clear liquid in them. Would you drink a random clear glass jar?
Oh, I don't see why not.
Apparently, that one person would do.
Ah, so there is somebody who might die by, by drinking acid floor cleaner. Anyway,
Well, it depends on which character I'm playing.
so okay, that's fair. But yeah. So poor Satana is not having a good day trying out different foods. Uh, Currently, Mike, what do you wish to drink?
Ale.
So yeah, ale is just for a regular glass of ale at a tavern. That's probably just gonna set you back a silver. That's for like a really large glass of ale.
Now you said we were given 50 gold pieces, though.
Yes, each of you was given 50 gold pieces because you guys negotiated for some upfront money.
On top of the gold we already started with.
Yeah, it's on top of your starting gold.
All right. Don't need a
Which was
donkey.
only 10 gold for me.
So Mike and Thick are drinking at the Thundering Lizard. And Mike is giving the crowd a good look and has spotted some interesting looking people. And Thick just seems to be drinking. And breaking out into song, roll a performance check.
I did say singing poorly.
Yep. Well, that means rolling at disadvantage, but you're still rolling. We're gonna see how
Let's
poorly.
see. Performance.
And you specified singing poorly, so you have to roll again because it's a disadvantage.
Watch him roll a 20.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah. Not only is Kenta's stomach killing her, now her ears are killing her.
She's heading into the Thundering Lizard.
all while throwing an axe in the air. This is gonna end poorly.
Yes. Your singing is very off tune, but your axe throwing is pretty nice. But you do have some people just staring dumbfoundedly at you at this point.
Okay. Hold on. Come on, go. Okay, so we need information about where we're going. Where we're going. Like, what is the main goal? Is where we're supposed to be going?
Uh, you guys weren't listening to the brief.
I'm Devlin Spooks. I don't need to pay attention.
I I I I I use axe.
Because what I'm thinking is, so we got a light-skinned, blonde-haired, probably blue-eyed dwarf. Is he part of? I can probably ask him questions about, like, do we have an answer for an actual location we're going to again? From anybody?
Are you talking out of character or in character?
Out of character, kind of.
Out of character, you have no idea. You were just given information as to Chult in general, and which you're now at. You're in the area of Chult, currently in the port of Nazuru, and you were given the name of the item that's supposedly causing this, the Soulmonger.
Okay. I want to go to the albino elf
Albino
and
dwarf.
say,
It's a dwarf.
oh, I thought you said there was an albino elf.
I'm very sorry if I accidentally said elf when I meant dwarf. Okay, every
That-
once in a while my brain will swap out a word and I have no idea what I've said until somebody else points it out to me.
Because I know we got the blonde hair, light skinned dwarf who's not albino,
Yeah, there's two. There's
and then we had a character who was
there's
albino.
a couple of dwarves. There's in the place. There's some darker skinned dwarves that look like they've been in this region forever. There's an odd albino looking dwarf which really stands out because albino dwarves are not something you tend to see. And then there is a much lighter skinned dwarf with blonde hair and blue eyes and such like that.
I want to go to the Aryan dwarf.
Yeah, he's also got some rather distinguishing scars on him.
Yes. As I said, I want to go to the Aryan dwarf.
So he is sitting over at the end of the bar, kind of nursing a drink. you do notice as you get up close to him, he is missing his left arm. He's got some sort of contraption on it instead, and he's using that contraption to hold on to his monk mug as he drinks it.
He'll hold on to his monk.
Mug.
But anyway, hello there, good sir. How
He's
are you doing this fine evening?
he slowly
I am Devlin Spooks extraordinaire.
he slowly puts his mug down and eyes you. Ah, hello there. Uh, what brings you to my corner of the bar?
I'm looking for this contraption called a soulmonger.
Hmm.
I think I'm here to destroy it.
Ah, good for you.
Do you have any information on this?
Nah, I can't say I've heard of such a thing.
I slide a gold piece onto the bar. How about some little courage to tell me everything you know?
Hmm. What? Are
Yes, I'll bribe
you
the
looking
patron.
you looking for some kind of guide here? Uh, I can lead you around Schultz. I know a few places, but and he kind of slides the money back. If you're really looking to take on something called a soulmonger, maybe you'd be up for doing a little job for me.
Oh, what's this job entail, if I do ask?
And he kind of leans forward a bit. How many are ya? Is it just you?
Do you see that big guy?
He kind of
Wait,
glances
where are
up.
we sitting at? Wait, where are we sitting at in the bar? I mean, it doesn't really matter where we sit, but I just wanted to go in that direction.
I don't think it really
Like,
matters because the Goliath is obvious because he's throwing an axe up in the air and catching it and singing it
well, I
badly.
haven't mentioned that. I haven't mentioned that portion, but it's like, do you see that big guy? He
And
looks like he'd eat you in one bite.
the dwarf looks over at the badly singing Goliath and he kind of nods. Aye, that guy is he's quite a big fella, isn't he?
That is one of my companions. So if it's not up for him, then we're hosed anyway.
Hmm. Tell me, laddie, what do you know about dragons?
They can either breathe. They breathe certain types of elements at times. They can fly, and they're scaly.
What do you know
Other than
about
that, nothing.
what do you know about red dragons?
I heard that they're the fire type.
Aye. Yeah, a couple years ago, this well, I to me it was a small dragon. I'm not sure how well a large well I imagine to that guy and he kind of points at Thick. It would be considered a small dragon, but see there was this young dragon who came into my mind and well took over everything. Basically enslaved my workforce and forced them to well killed a lot of my fellow dwarves and enslaved the rest of the workforce and put them to work for her own greed. Tried to go back, but she bit off my arm here.
Where can we perhaps find this dragon who bit off your arm?
Well, she's over at the Wormhot mine. As part of an expedition, you see, 3 years ago. Me, a group of dwarves from the mainland, and a clan of kobolds. We went down there to open the mine, and well, after we cleared out some tunnels, the dragon decided that she wanted it for herself. She didn't have any use for us dwarves, but she well, kobolds. They're easier to bully from dragon's point of view.
Give me 1 second. I gotta go and do something real quick.
And as he's talking, Satana, you see the very badly singing Goliath companion tossing an axe up and down in the middle of of the room. He's getting a somewhat of a crowd of looks. People are still sitting at their tables. They're not getting up and approaching him, but they are staring at him.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that was not me. Okay, anyways, she tilts her head, and as he does this, and then just slowly shakes her head and looks down, walking over to him, kind of tugging on his shirt, looking up at him.
Yes.
She looks at you and then at your axe, and she just gets a smirk and just shakes her head and points to you and then points to a chair.
Thick will just look at the chair and throw his axe into it.
She shakes her head and slaps his bottom and then points to the chair.
Whose bomb getting slapped?
Just both.
What's that?
Thick will get a big old smile on his face, pick her up, and sit her on his lap while he sits down in the chair.
Is there even a chair left?
I
Yeah.
was kind of wondering that myself.
He is a chair.
Well, actually, roll a strength check. Let's see how tough that chair is.
Well, that strength's gone. Or that chair's gone. That's
We'll
just
see. The chair could be strong.
not a saving throw, just
It's
strength,
it's a
right?
check.
Where's it at? There it is. Ah,
Well,
I was nice to it.
the chair doesn't even creak when you sit down on it. It's actually quite a strong and sturdy chair.
I thought he threw the axe at the chair.
I did.
Oh well, even so, the axe is kind of bounces off the chair and didn't seem to hit it straight on and just skitters under the table at that point. I thought you said you sat down on the chair. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I did afterwards. I said I picked after she slapped my butt. I picked her up, sat her on my lap as I sat in the chair.
Yeah, that's what I was making you roll the strength check for. Yeah, the chair is fine. It's very sturdy. Apparently, it's the sort of chair that's probably been used to bash people in the head with during a brawl, and still is perfectly fine for sitting in.
And she kind of just smiles and shakes her head and tries to get out of his lap and see if there's another chair nearby to sit in.
Roll for a strength check.
For acrobatics. Or elf is currently grappled.
Actually, I think I will use something else.
If you're actually grappling another player, I would like you to roll me an athletics check, and for the player being grappled to choose between athletics or acrobatics to contest it.
So I'm doing which one? Athletics?
Yes, athletics to grapple. So
Oh
you've
man, I'm
you're
just rolling poorly today.
yeah. So maybe it was just all that axe tossing. Maybe it's the drink you've been pulling down. But even though she's not able to wriggle very well, she still manages to wriggle out of your arms.
Wriggle off the lap and please tell me there's another chair there without the axe.
Yes. There are several chairs around that table. One of them Mike was sitting in, and that's possibly the one you're now sitting in.
Okay, she sits down and she does like a drink motion.
Uh, let's see. There are two bartenders. There is a human and a lizard folk. Which one are you gesturing at?
Actually, I was gesturing to the Goliath.
All right. So you're gonna share and drink with the Goliath. Got it.
He'll raise his hand up and ask for another pig.
The lizard folk behind the bar yells, "Another gold, if you would."
He just throws it at the counter.
All right, make a dexterity throw.
Attack roll.
I was thinking attack roll.
Obliterate the counter.
Yeah, not a save, but a check. But anyway,
Oh, I could do that too. Hold on.
the the the,
I,
the already.
I
Things are
I'm
getting
gonna go with the
really
save.
here, everyone. But actually, they're equal regardless. But you okay? So the coin slides into the table. The lizard folk just kind of scrambles to grab it, and it drops onto the floor behind the bar. Lizard man ducks down, grabs the gold, and soon there is another pig on its way to you.
The elf just laughs. Well, actually, she don't laugh. She kind of silently laughs.
So she's grinning like a maniac. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Basically, the elf is mute.
So
Okay, are we playing D or Star Wars?
we're playing D&D.
You never know.
Yo,
Ash!
It's my battle song, all right.
what did I
It's
miss?
a great battle song. There's drinking going on in a bar.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I haven't missed much then.
So basically, you'd have to have
No.
a reason for being in Schult at the moment.
They are being the what now?
For being in the small country or area of Schult in the port of port of Nazura.
So
So
we're
far,
in Shoal. So
Devin.
that's right.
So far, Area is asleep in bed. Devlin Spooks is trying
Yep.
to get information out of a weird,
Battle-scarred
misshapen dwarf,
dwarf.
and
Battle-scarred.
everyone else is throwing axes around.
Yes,
Okay,
and
that's
I think the Goliath is about ready to throw an elf around.
Yeah.
okay.
Or at least
So
try.
So, would there be a reason
so
for you to be in a raucous bar in the evening, Ash?
well, was the only bar available? I guess
Well,
that would be a good reason.
there are other bars. In this case, it's the best way to introduce you to the rest of the party.
I need to find a reason to be there, right? That's what you said.
Yes. What reason would you have to be in a place called the Thundering Lizard, which is full of people and lots of drinking and all of that?
You lost the bet.
I
When in
lost
doubt,
the bet.
you lost the bet. So now
I
you have to
mean,
socialize.
all right. I guess it could be that. I don't know who. I don't know who I would lost the bet to, but
Oh, also, we don't know each other's names.
Yeah.
okay,
Basically,
okay.
character-wise, they just met, and have been transported to Schult, except for you, who's already at Schult, and have been given a mission, and are now gathered together in a. Well, most of them are gathered together in the one bar. The other one is asleep in another tavern.
And
Yes,
the
because
elf with
Aria
the quiet.
doesn't do it. Aria does
I,
not
I
do
don't know.
taverns.
I don't know. I would
The
say like
Goliath is the
I
Goliath is
miss.
trying to introduce the elf, but it's not working.
I'd say I miss being around people. Would that be good?
That works for me.
Like I've been alone for a long time, and now I'm like, okay, well, let's go meet people.
Then you hear the Goliath singing, you're like, maybe meeting people is not the best idea.
And it'd be very awkward because you're probably the only furball in the area, or at least you were until Area showed up today.
And basically, you've missed out on the elf groped my butt, and then I made her sit on my lap. So
No, you tried to make
Well,
her sit in her lap. She got free.
I'd say I didn't miss much.
Yeah.
I'd say I didn't miss too much
So it is a
of
lovely.
all of that.
So for your benefit, it is currently a lovely evening. The shops have closed for the night. The two moons are
Okay.
high in the sky, climbing up the sky, shedding their light on the world. It's hot and humid as it always is in Port Narazu. It is early spring, also known as the month of renewal. There are 4 months; each of them is a season on this world. Um,
Okay.
and the Thundering Lizard, one of the most popular bars in town, is full of life at the moment.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna walk in. That seems like a perfectly reasonable action right now.
And what do you look like?
So, I'm a very tall furbolg. Like, I'm tall for my kind. I have a short beard, brownish, like hazelnut. But my skin is like blue gray. I have a tail, very short hair. Again, same color of the beard, so hazelnut. Um, I'm dressed very simply, like a traveler, traveling clothes, simple leather armor. I think that's what I had. Um, Backpack on the shoulder, bow on the other side. Um, that's I think that's that for now.
Man, she's even
Um,
describing herself like something we didn't do.
well, she asked me what my fear bulk looked like, so
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna.
that's what you guys see. Those of you who are currently in the Thundering Lizard see walking through the door, and clearly not to be confused with your new companion Arya, because this one looks nothing like her. Just
Yeah,
same
he's a male
features.
for one.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, various other things, but it's like clearly not to be confused with Arya, even though you just met Arya.
I mean,
And
Accidental press and
as
actually do
as you
good.
walk in, one of the things that probably catches your eye immediately is a Goliath, which you haven't seen around Port Narazu before, who is currently. Are you still juggling that axe?
No, it's underneath the table,
Okay,
and
so you
I'm
basically.
too lazy to pick it
All
up.
right, so you currently witnessed him tossing a gold coin at one of the two bartenders, the lizard folk bartender, and a large keg being brought out to him in return. Nearby is a elf, and if you wish to describe yourself, Satanta, please go right ahead.
Yes, Santa is a female elf, kind of. It looks like she might be in her teens. Long, four pleated braid hair going down her back, blonde, big brown eyes, and dressed in dirty, worn traveling clothes.
So, Ash, what do you do?
uh, I'm gonna first go order food.
All right, you're charged 5 copper for your meal.
Okay. Paying the copper, and I'm asking, well, what's going on around these parts? It's been a while since I've been in a city.
The human bartender addresses you. More of the usual. Most people are talking about the damnable death curse, and then he pauses for a moment. Have you heard about that yet?
I can't say I have, to be honest.
It's been going around
Uh,
for over a month now. From what I hear, it's been hitting the mainland recently. Uh, people who've been formerly resurrected have been dying, and no one new has been able to be resurrected since it happened.
oh, that's, oh, wow, that's awful. I can't imagine. That's something. Uh, Listen, it's been a very long time since I've actually saw other people. Like I've been living in the wild for like a long time.
And kind of nods a bit.
Uh, if you have something or someone to, I don't know. I'm again, as I said, it's been a very, very, very long time since I saw people.
So all the other players who are currently in the Thundering Lizard, please roll a perception check.
Can we reset this roll 20? Seriously.
15.
Okay. Devlin, even as you are speaking with the dwarf and hearing his tale of woe about a dragon and asking to see if you guys would be interested in help, Satana, you hear this as well. Both of you hear the Furbog talking to the bartender. Uh, is there anything you would like to
Oh
do?
yeah, what are you doing out of bed? Okay. Um.
So what did we hear again?
You heard
We heard
everything
about a
that.
death curse.
Yeah. You heard what the bartender was saying, the mention of the death curse, and you heard that this furbug has been living out in the jungle for a while and hadn't even heard of the death curse and just basically arrived back in town today.
To the bartender, I just straight up to go, Death curse. Is this related to the soulmonger?
The,
Out like the loudest I can make it.
the bartender just kind of looks at you, and a few other heads turn towards you at this point. The bartender just kind of blinks a moment and says, well, the death curse has been going on for over a month, but I don't think I know about this. Did you say soulmonger? What's a soulmonger?
Yes. I don't know. I've been hired to destroy one. Wait, we're looking to destroy it, right?
Can I hear what he says? Like, can I hear he's been hired to?
Yeah, he's talking directly to the bartender in front of you,
No.
so you'd be able
No,
to hear it.
he is
Okay.
not. He is not talking to the bartender. He's yelling at the
Yeah,
bartender.
so you definitely be able to hear it.
Yes. And then I'm sorry, but can we take a small break because my wife wants me to go to the store.
Oh, sure.
Okay,
Uh,
break's good.
My store is
Well, I
about
mean, I
5 minutes
also
away.
haven't checked in my room yet,
Okay.
so I've been.
I can go over with
Come on,
the
I
rest of them what's going on here.
Okay. I'll be back as soon as possible.
So who's
I've just arrived,
other than
bitch.
other than Arya, who is not in the Thundering Lizard right now?
Me. I'm
So
not.
so what are you up to then?
I've been waiting to check in my room.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because you went over to Kai. I'm very sorry. I got caught up with everybody else being in there. So yeah,
since I'm asleep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. So a rather pleasant pleasant woman smiles at you as you walk in. Ah, hello there. What can I do for you this
Oh,
evening?
hello.
Good evening, lass. I'm just here to get a room for the night and possibly find a place to gather information. And as I say that, I basically put my right hand on the counter, which would show a signet ring.
What kind of signet ring is that?
So it would be one of like a noble merchant.
She kind of like looks at it and nods a bit. Oh, well, rooms for the evening are 1 gold. That includes the morning meal. And if you're looking for information, you might wish to head up towards the Merchant's Ward. It's that walled off section to the north. You might have a good time finding information there from the various merchant princes. They might be able to
Hmm.
help you out.
From my understanding, it's closed around this time of night.
Well,
Would there be any other place where
the
I might
shop,
be able to?
the shops around here are closed for the night. The merchant ward up north is well, I imagine many of them have business dealings at this time of night.
Hmm. Okay. And by chance, would you happen to have a set of clothes that are more common?
I'm afraid I do not. But in the morning, the fabulous lizard should be open. It's a clothing store nearby.
Hmm. Okay. All right then. Thank you. And he will place a gold coin on the table.
And she hands you off a key.
All right. From there, I guess I will head to the merchant ward.
All right.
And I'm
And
assuming
come back
nobody's
here.
like, and
Sorry.
it's pretty safe to assume like because we're in the city, like nobody's wearing like full armor, things of that nature.
Well, do a perception check.
I'm hardly wearing any clothes.
I'm aware. Dude, it's due. It's there. Not bad. 10.
You look around, you really don't see armor. You mostly see, like, brightly colored clothing and, shells and feathers and all that.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then I will doff my armor and I will put on I guess the only clothes that I really actually have. Unless I would have been able to purchase like some normal traveler clothes.
Well, you would have been able to do that
Um,
before you came here. You can always
yeah.
say that you did if that's a concern to your character.
Okay. Well, then I'll do that. And then I'll just keep like, uh, yeah, that'll be it. And then I'll head out to the merchant ward to possibly find uh, any places that might be open that I might be able to get some information from.
All right. Do you have a specific set of information that you're looking for, other than, or are you just looking for information about the soulmonger?
Um, Possibly information about the soulmonger, but also just getting a better general idea of like what's been going on with the people that have been getting sick and how many people it's really affected as far as like for business. And yeah, I think that would be it.
All right. So when we get up there, I would like you to roll me a 1d7. Uh, so do you know how to do the rolls in Roll20?
It's been a while.
All right. So
I
backs.
barely hear you right now.
Sorry.
By the way.
Sorry, my microphone slipped backwards. Uh, backslash r space 1d7, and that should be able to give you just like that. You can assign that for any
Yep.
for any number, so that it makes it easier to do that. Or maybe front slash. I'm terrible at remembering which way slashes go.
Whoops. I only pressed 1-7, I swear.
Yeah, I see a 1d77. So just roll it again. Okay.
Here we go.
4.
Oh, we're on Roll20. That's right.
Yeah, so you can see the maps and make you can do roller from either one. It's easy enough to see, but maps, and I still don't have a token for you, Ash.
Hmm?
I need a picture of your character to make a token from.
I actually have sent one.
All right.
Uh,
Perfect. It was the one I wanted to get you anyway. So, Uh,
No, but I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you the one I'm gonna use anyway.
okay. So, most of the places appear to be closed, but there is one. Uh, shall we call it a much more advanced version of a kiosk set up that still has someone behind it. He just seems to be standing there, chatting with someone else. And as you approach, he kind of like waves the other person off and gives you a big grin. Ah, hello there, my friend. I do not recognize you. Perchance are you an adventurer type?
Could potentially say that I am. My name is Dalzell. Yours?
Ah, Jobel. Pleasure to meet you.
Jovel. Nice to meet you as well. I actually would reach out to shake his hand.
And he reaches out and grins. He looks like he's the type of man who was at one time an adventurer like you, and probably
You took
now
an arrow
he's
to the
well, actually, in a way, yes. Um, he just kind of smiles and holds your hand, and he's got like scars and rough calluses on his hands, but he looks like he is quite wealthy now, and he smiles greatly at you. Pleasure to meet you. So, what brings you to our nice, wonderful city?
Couple things. One, I have uh, basically I should have somebody running or working in this area, as I have heard about the illness that has been plaguing this town
Ah,
recently.
yes, the death curse. Yes, no one in this town has not heard of that at this point.
Hmm. Well, I'm here to try to find a solution for it before things get out of hand and the merchant or the shop that is being ran here is starts losing money from it.
Hm. Yes, well, a lot of us are a little concerned about that. Can't make money if people don't, are being afraid of putting their lives on the line if they can't be brought back.
Exactly. I was coming here because I
Not that
wasn't
most
sure if
people
you
do
might
come
have
back.
any.
He laughs.
Well, maybe. Just depends on if you're lucky. But you seem to maybe have some knowledge of the goings around this area, and I was just wondering if possibly I could.
Well, I'm quite knowledgeable. I hire out guides, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Oh yes, I have many fine guides, and my beloved Azon here, and he gestures towards a much lighter-skinned man who's standing nearby, his arms crossed, would be quite happy to show you around town and possibly introduce you to said guides.
Hmm. What I'm more looking for is information more on the or where possibly the origins of this curse is coming from.
Aha, wouldn't we all? I think many of us would pay handsomely to know that knowledge.
Hmm. Would you might know anybody that would know knowledge of that?
Well, as I said, if I if I knew that, well, I'd be able to make a fortune selling it now, wouldn't I? You see
Hmm.
the other man kind of roll his eyes at that comment,
And you, what is your name?
and the other man kind of like gazes at you. I am Azon. Azon Teleria. What can I do for you?
Azon? Well met. Uh,
Well
well,
met.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to get my bearings around the town. would you be willing to guide me and some of my new companions?
Do you require guiding right now, or would you prefer to wait till the morning when the shops are open?
Yeah, nothing can be really done now, but perhaps in the morning I can come find you. I guess say meet here.
Of course, I live here.
Well,
And
then
the
it
other
shouldn't be hard to find.
the other man, Jobil, just kind of chuckles a bit. Ah, yes, you are standing close to my home and my quaint little kiosk.
Hmm.
But
What
like I
do
said,
you happen to sell by chance?
well, I deal in guides and sellswords mostly. If you need mercenaries or need guides th- through Chult, well, they all go through me sooner or later.
Hmm. It's good to know. Who would be your, would you say, best guide?
Hmm, that is a good question. A very good question. And for that, Joe is flipping out over to the handout section of the book and looking around at them to see who he would recommend. The biggest question is not who is the best guide, but where are you going?
Well, depends on where the origins of this curse may take us.
Well, since no one knows where that is, that could be just about anywhere now, couldn't it?
Just about.
Well, tomorrow I will give you a few missives. Various guides of mine have put together a little briefing for each prospective client, and I can give this to you in the morning. As long as you are going to be viewing the city with Azan here, I will have them ready for you.
Sounds great. I'd very much appreciate it.
Very good. So in the morning, then, I look
Um,
forward to seeing you.
ah, Azon, before I go,
Yes?
are there any upscale nightclubs or nights,
Kind of
I guess,
thinks for a
places where
moment.
people lounge?
Depends. Are you looking for someplace loud or someplace quiet?
Mm, more quiet and I guess
Well,
where more of the well,
there is a nice restaurant the attached to the Caius. He roused off the same inn that you are. Caius House of Repose. Uh, the public bathhouse is usually fairly quiet this time of evening as well. Fairly eloquent.
Dun, 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 dun.
and what about where the people of influence go
Hmm.
out?
This time of night, usually in their own homes. But
Mm,
there are usually events at the Coliseum most afternoons. A lot of people of influence like to gather there and watch. And then, of course, if there happens to be, well, either once upon a time there were a lot of criminal places that a lot of criminals put to death. But these days, the executioner's run has been turned into a bit of a more of a contest than a race than anything else.
how so?
Most of we still, of course, execute criminals that way, but still, there are actual celebrities that take on the challenge these days.
Hmm. Sounds
Really
more
depends
like
on what
a
you want to do. There's always other merchants you'll be able to find out there. But it's during the day.
sounds like more like something for sport, which see no fun in that.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you for the information, and I look forward to seeing you in the morning. I go in to reach his hand to shake it, and I put something in my hand as well.
As on, let's see here a second. Yeah, Aslan reaches out his hand to shake yours.
And I release what I put in my hand, which would be a gold coin, and I say, I look forward to working with you.
And he nods.
And I start heading off to, I guess, the villa to find that lounge slash dinner area.
Yeah. Yeah, back at the at your inn, the house, the Caius House of Repose, you do find a very quiet and elegant dining room that is serving evening meal. Any conversation that is happening in here in this room is rather hushed and quiet, and there are a handful of small tables and booths, but an actual wait staff composed of humans and lizard folk, dressed in a bit more sedate robes than what you've seen on the street. It's like all it's all designed for quiet contemplation and quiet conversation, as opposed to the thundering lizard, which is all loud and boisterous and lots of people.
I
Um,
resemble that remark.
He means he is that remark.
Facts. Um, Dozelle will probably sit somewhere, close to, I guess, if there's like a bar, like if the lounge like has a bar, I guess maybe sit close to it.
It seems like
Uh,
there's a. It's not exactly a bar like you would think of as a bar. It's more of a long one-sided table that is close to the entrance to the kitchens, where a server is stationed and brings out glasses of wine and small mugs of ale. Uh, Basically more fancy and sedate versus the I am just going to sit here and drink until I'm drunk sort of atmosphere.
yeah, yeah, gotcha. I'll sit at the closest table to that long table.
All right. Roll a perception check. All right.
Hmm.
All right. So you see a woman of middle age, uh, sitting by herself. Everyone else is basically sitting in pairs and just talking quietly. But this woman is sitting by herself, sipping contentedly at what looks like some kind of cup of tea, as there's small vapor kind of like lifting off from it. She doesn't seem to have any other plates in front of her, but she is glancing your way, just kind of ob- observing you at the moment. And you just have noticed it as you're looking around.
Uh, did we catch eyes?
And she smiles politely at you. She's
I
currently
do
wearing
a
light blue robes and appears to have some kind of walking stick leaned into the booth with her.
I do a subtle nod. Um, and I wait for the waiter or the server to come to order some food.
A young man quickly comes to your table. What can I get for you, sir?
Oh, well, I guess I can start with a glass of wine. And
Very
what
good.
do you have on today's menu?
Well, we have some fresh caught fish, um, lightly poached in a butter sauce with a bit of lemon. We have a medley of crabs and of crab and clam, um, done in various ways.
Mhm.
We have a fruit plate. What interests you? What sort of food are you interested in having this evening?
I think I'll go with crab. Actually, well, what was the first one? It was like a steak, right?
It was a fish, lightly poached
Oh,
with
fish.
lemon.
Yeah, I'll take the yeah, I'll go with the crab. And then also I'll probably ask him like quietly, what was it that the lady over there was having?
Oh, she's just having a well, it's a kind of flower tea. It's this purplish flower. I'm not actually sure what the name is. She comes in and orders it when she's in town. As
Hmm,
for the fish, that'll be 2 silver.
okay. And could I order one of those teas for her as well?
All right. That will be 5 copper for that, and 1 silver for the wine.
Yeah. Silver, copper. All right.
So after a bit, the cup of tea is delivered to the woman. She kind of looks down at it and smiles and nods lightly towards you. Uh,
I simply raise my glass and smile back.
The snack that smiles back.
she sips a bit at the tea before finally getting up from the table and walking over to you just as your fish arrives.
Good evening, madame. How are you?
Hmm. I am quite well, thank you very much. You seem to be a rather polite young man.
Mm, I thank you.
So, what brings you to?
Manners can,
Oh, go ahead.
well, oh, I was just saying manners, make them person.
Yes. Let's see. I think I have a handout picture for her. Hold on. Yeah, there are a lot of handouts in this game. This is why I always recommend that. There you go. This is who you see in front of you. Uh, and she smiles and sips at her tea. It is nice to see that manners are not going out of fashion. Where are you from? You appear to be new in town.
Uh, I've just recently arrived, looking for possibly some information of the happenings that have been plaguing this town recently.
Hmm. I am taking that to mean the death curse.
Mm. And what about you? I heard that you are you are also not from here.
Why do you say that?
Oh, I just happened to ask the waiter about the tea that you were drinking.
Ah, it is. I am from. Well, it is a flower that grows deep in the jungle, it is very hard to find and retrieve. I happen to collect flowers, and it is quite nice to find ones that can be used as tea.
I see. So what brings you here?
Well, I enjoy stopping by town. It gives me a chance to socialize and, well, catch up on the gossip. And well, lately I've been hearing again about this death curse.
Hmm. I haven't been able to hear much about it.
Is the death curse something that brought you to town?
It is. We were, or me and some new comrades were employed to find the source of this death curse. I'd like to get it over quickly, or get it over with quickly, so it doesn't plague anybody else too longer.
Yes, many hope for that. She thinks for a moment, sipping her tea. I know a lot of locations inside the jungle. Uh, perhaps you you and your companions would wish to hire me for some assistance.
Hmm. Are you a guide of sorts?
Ah, yes. My name is EQ, and she offers her hand for a shake.
I or I guess gently grasp her hand in a, I guess, slight bow, still while sitting.
It was occurring to me as we spoke that perhaps one person or one individual who might know of where to find the source of this death curse. Uh, deep within the jungle, there is a very sacred site that is home to a guardian Naga. They might know much about the land. They might know more than others about, well, the source of the death curse.
And what is this Naga that you speak of?
Oh, you do not know of a Naga?
I can't say that I have heard of one.
Well, some Naga are wicked, but a guardian Naga is usually quite good, and the one that lives in the jungle, or exists, I should say, in the jungle, uh, is a good is a good one. Ow, sorry, ow. Stretch my arm again. They resemble serpents and tend to live in ancient ruins. They're quite knowledgeable about things. Uh, it's often believed that they were the immortal guardians of a race long lost to history. Probably long, long time ago, back in the Sundering, which GM knowledge for players. The Sundering is basically the remaking of the world 6,000 years ago. Uh, it's the beginning of what we now know of as the world. Where the continent shifted, whole races basically vanished, whole new races appeared, all sorts of things happened. So it's like
Gotcha.
even if you don't know much about the Sundering, you at least know, oh, that was 6,000 years ago. That's when the world. That's when the
Okay.
world as we know it began.
Gotcha, gotcha. And this Naga would have knowledge of what's holding this curse upon the land.
Well, if anything does, I imagine the Naga would.
Okay. Um, what would your price be for being our guide?
Give
Or
me
is there
one.
something that you require?
She thinks for a moment. Just how hardy are you and your companions?
How hardy?
Yes.
Well, one of them is a furbolg, and the other one is a Goliath, both taller than me.
Then I have another question for you. Do you
Ah,
know
what is?
do you know what a hag is?
Hmm. I have heard of such beings.
Well,
Someone's wife.
there is a horrible hag that that
That's why
lives
Thunk went on an adventure.
that lives deep in the jungle. She goes by Nanny Poo Poo. She is quite evil and she has murdered so many. I would dearly love to see her dealt with, and
Hmm.
if you can guarantee me that you and your companions will do this, I will happily guide you anywhere.
Hmm. Well, would you be able to know the whereabouts of this nanny hoo hoo?
Yes, I know how to find her. Just as I know how to find the Naga.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I don't see why we can't do that. Um, Tomorrow, I will be walking with a guide throughout this city to get my bearings.
All right.
If you like, you could accompany us, and from there we will head out and search for this hag. Try to then seek out this guardian Naga that you speak of.
I would be quite appreciative of this. And the Naga is, well, for those who wish to stop this curse, who think they have the means to stop this curse, that's for their benefit. And I do not think I have the power in myself to stop such a curse.
Uh, well, the Naga has the answers, then that should be, well, for one, that is a better lead than I'm sure anybody else has at the moment. How old does this lady look by chance?
She looks like she's middle aged, actually.
Okay. So like 40, maybe 50,
She looks about that age,
45-ish?
yes, that sounds about right.
Okay. Um, and it, out of curiosity, is she taken back by my eyes?
Describe your eyes.
So, my eyes are like a pearlescent hazel, very much not common for a human's eyes.
And what race are you exactly? Your race isn't translating on here. It just says Scourge.
Oh, it doesn't actually have it on there. I'm an ASMR.
I thought so.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she doesn't seem to be put off by that at all.
okay. That's really weird that it actually just says Scourge because
Yeah.
it had the sub race.
I have a
Uh,
question.
Yeah?
Where are we now?
Uh, Port Nazu. down in the down in this direction.
We're getting
Okay, so
drunk.
we're not in the room where people talk
Oh, right.
like.
No. You guys are in the Raucous bar, and he is in the very quiet restaurant.
Thunk is trying to get everyone drunk so he can win an arm wrestling contest.
So Mike is finally back. Because
No,
Yeah.
you left in
I'm going around to everyone in the bar.
you left in mid conversation with Ash, so we're gonna shift back over to you if you don't mind, Dozel.
Yep. That's
That's fine.
Yeah. So Mike, you were in the middle of a conversation with Ash actually at that point.
No, I was in the middle of a conversation with the bartender who was in the middle of a conversation with Ash.
Yes, which is why we
Yeah.
had to pause everything in that particular bar because you had to leave all of a sudden. But so go ahead, finish your conversation with the bartender so that Ash can go.
Well, last I mentioned was I'm looking where I was hired to go and destroy the Soulmonger.
Wait,
And that's
there's a party. There's a party moving around to kill that soulmonger thing.
yes. Yes. Do you see that giant guy who's asking everyone to arm wrestle in the bar?
He's hard to miss.
He's one of mine.
That's cool. Would you are you hiring or something? Because I'm actually out of job, and kind of missing company.
Oh, that's fine. I am Devlin Spooks extraordinaire.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay.
yes, we are hiring.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
I was
That's
trying to give you my name.
oh,
Something that was never
absolutely.
given.
I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've talked to people. I sort of forgot how to introduce myself.
Oh, don't worry. If you ever have trouble, just give me 5 gold. That's the proper thing to do when you meet someone new.
Yeah, that's it. Hasn't been that long.
I had to try.
It's okay. I understand. Just so you know, if I catch you with your hands in my pockets and for my gold, I might cut them. It's a friendly warning.
Oh yeah. Also, how do you feel about killing dragons?
Well, depend. Are we talking the big bad dragon killing people or the good dragon?
Um, apparently this dragon enslaved a group of
So big bad dragon.
dwarfs and killed all the dwarfs. And I put my hand on top of the scarred dwarf's head and ate this guy's arm.
The dwarf kind of scowls when you put your hand on his head. Like, hey, knock that off, laddie.
That's very unpolite. Just saying. But yeah, sure. If it's a big bad dragon, I am all in to go and try and kill it.
Okay, so then I turn to the dwarf. We accept of killing the dragon.
Ah, good, excellent.
What is your name?
Oh, I'm Hugh. Hugh Hackenstone. Pleasure to meet you.
Hugh. Awesome. I am Devlin Spooks, the extraordinaire.
Aye.
You said that.
And then
Hey,
Oh,
so you're hiring then?
yes, I think our patron will hire you.
Oh well. By all means, if I can meet him and such, yeah, I'd be on it. As I said, been a long time since I actually worked with people. Kind of miss.
You may meet her tomorrow. She has teleported us here and has taken rest due to the strain.
Well, all the better. It means I can actually eat and have a good night of sleep.
Okay. Hugh, where are we going? You said we have to go all the way down to the Cobalt Mountains?
We're going all the way down to the Wormheart mine. The
Wormheart
kobolds
Mine.
that I hired 3 years ago to help reopen it with the rest of my dwarven companions. Well, they got enslaved by the dragon.
How far away is that mine?
He kind of rubs at his beard. Let me see. Let's see. I can navigate us there. It is. Well, yes, it is actually quite near the Cobalt Mountains, but it is a bit south of that. It's over by the Valley of Lost Honor.
Say again.
It's over by the Valley of Lost of Lost Honor.
The Valley of Lost Ark.
Yep.
So I would suggest that to be about what, a 1 month journey.
Well, you could always get on a ship and hope that it doesn't get blown off into the to the chaos seas off to the west. If you get blown off that direction, you would, get wander there possibly forever, never come back. But if you stick to the coast, get a ship and stick to the coastline, you can always drop off at GQ Bay. Probably be able to get to the mine by there.
Oh, that one. Okay. Okay. So then, we'll most likely take this honor. I need to confer with the rest of my people and my patron. If you do not hear back from us in 3 days' time, then all's lost.
Uh,
And then I walk away.
well, I'll be looking for other potential heroes to help me out. It's not like I haven't been doing that for 3 years.
I go back to the table with Thunk.
And he goes back to
Like,
drinking.
Ash, what did you say your character was again?
He never said his name.
No. Yeah, we did it. You introduced yourself to me.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, I didn't. I never said my name.
Well, then I go, come on, Furball. Let's meet the rest of the group.
Wait, what? Furbolg? Wow. Okay.
I don't know your
All
name.
right. What race are Devin? Devin?
I'm a human.
Human. All right. Show the way, human.
As we walk over to the table where Thunk has vacated, and we see the elf now.
Orion sit at the table and bring his lunch with him because he actually ordered a lunch and a beer.
Thunk, I got an arm wrestling. No, Thunk. Goliath person. I got an arm wrestling partner for you over here.
Oh no, no way in hell. Nope.
As the two of them comes up and Devlin's yelling at the Goliath, the elf just turns and cocks her head.
What? So, how's everyone?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be there. Happy to see people. By the way, my name is Orion, but you can call me Ranger or Philbold. Both will do. And I present my hand to shake.
Thunk will run over and grab it and get ready for an arm wrestle.
Orion's just like, no. Listen here, pal. I actually need both my hands, and I don't want to have my arm broken. You
Well,
are definitely stronger than me. It's not even a question, buddy.
You don't know. He's been drinking, so he could be weak right
No. I'm perfectly fine being weaker than this strong-looking fellow. I'm not proud. I'm perfectly able to accept that fact. I'm a better archer anyway.
Or can you cast axe like he can?
Oh, I cannot ask big question like that. I'll let him ask people. It was a bad pun. I'm sorry about that. Been alone for slightly too long.
That is okay. So then, I take a cup and start and drink the ale. Elf person, what's your name?
Did you say I have a question or elf person?
I said, okay. Elf person, what
I
is your
definitely
name?
heard elf person.
As you ask the elfish, she kind of looks around and kind of touches her throat and shakes her head.
You don't speak common. I'll switch to dwarvish to try and see if she can talk that way.
She tilts her head and she just touches her throat again and kind of motions her hands like as in no, no.
I'm gonna
Something
speak.
to
I'm
it.
gonna speak Elvish and just be like, "Do you know how to speak? Actually, like, can you speak?"
Can I make an intelligence check to see if I understand her hand movements?
Sure, you can roll intelligence check.
It's not gonna
Where am I
help.
intelligent? Okay. Devon's like, oh, are you mute?
Yeah, you definitely would pick up on that sort of thing.
She shakes her or she nods her head yes.
Oh.
Oh well, this explained that.
Do you have anything on your persons that you can write out your name with? Because
Let's
I have
see.
nothing to write with.
I do not know if I have anything on my person to write with. Let me look at my equipment.
Yeah, do you have ink and parchment? I mean, given if your character is a mute, I would imagine that would be part of your starting equipment. Um, there's a mute character in my Wednesday game, and that was always part of her starting equipment.
I mean, if that's okay with the DM, that probably would have been.
I'm perfectly good with that. It's like because again,
I
if your
can't
character
hear you.
if your character is legitimately mute, that's just something she would have had, just by rote. She wouldn't be have probably gone anywhere without some sort of writing implements and paper.
Okay, now that I have your blessing for that, I will add it to my equipment.
What does she write though?
She writes in Elvish.
Well, I can read Elvish, so I'm good.
Okay, she looks in her one of her bags and she pulls out a small parchment of paper with a what looks like a wooden rod with a black seems to be a charcoal or something in the middle of it and she used that to write out Satanta in common.
No.
Huh. Satanta. Okay. I'll look over to the big Goliath. What's your name, sir?
Thup.
Like the sound of axe meeting head?
No, like thick, but without the eye.
Oh, okay. Okay then. I sip my ale. Like, okay. I have nothing to say to that. See, we're all getting lovey-dovey while Area's over there taking a nap.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
we should call the night off and go tomorrow.
I
Yeah.
think we should probably all get some sleep and go shopping
Like
in the morning.
Aria.
Yep.
Yeah.
We spent the last
Let's
4.5
go.
hours drinking.
Let's go spend a 5 day journey without sleeping, so we can only get 5 levels of exhaustion, and just go to sleep for 5 days straight.
I've gotten very familiar with levels of exhaustion throwing my mostly good neutral party through Avernus. That is hell on exhaustion.
Once it wasn't level 6 is your you die.
Yes. I mean, you get exhaustion here too, but at least it's only a throw once a day instead of once an hour. Once an hour in Avernus when you're crisscrossing throughout hell on foot is deadly. My Sunday party has learned that lesson well.
Do they make sure to take proper naps?
They try, except then they realize that if they nap too much, they can turn evil, and they don't want it. And most of them don't want to turn evil. In fact, the one guy he was like, "No, why did you say that I'm now neutral instead of evil?" Was chaotic evil, and he doesn't want to be lawful evil. I turned him.
Yeah.
I turned him neutral because his character was showing compassion for somebody that could do nothing for him at the time, and I'm like, you know what? You're giving away health potions to something and offering comfort when they don't need comfort. When their comfort does not benefit you at all. That is not an act of evil. You have done no murder. You've done nothing evil to support your claim of being evil. So you're no longer evil. You're
No.
neutral.
Yeah, and exhaustion can only be cleared by what, greater restoration or
Yeah, and nobody in the party can
long
cast.
rest.
Nobody in the party can cast that.
Not yet, anyways.
In that party, anyway. That party, yeah. Actually, no. Technically they do have a druid in the party, but the druid refuses to use such spells. Anyway, so you guys it's still in the Raucous Bar. What are you guys doing?
Well,
Oran's gonna go sleep.
Okay.
I was gonna say the same thing.
In the bar.
So this particular inn, it'll give you a room for 5 silver each.
That's a rip
Is
off.
it a nice room?
It's clean. It's got a bed. It's got a side table. It's got a trunk for your belongings.
I want to inspect the bed.
All right, roll an investigation check.
Where's my investigation? That's 2.
And you said the lunch was 5 copper, right?
Yes.
15. Is the bed crusty?
No, the bed is neatly made. You inspect under it and you find a little bit of a dust bunny, but nothing too bad. Nothing vulgar. You don't see any spider webs or anything like that,
Oh, I wasn't checking for that.
or other things. And I'm saying you don't even find spider webs, so it's So they are taking at least some decent care of their things and laundering their sheets.
Okay. I close the door and lock it, and then I want to jerry rig. Actually, you know what? I'll place my bag of ball bearings, like spread them out over the floor, so that anyone who walks in will trip on them.
Yeah. Just so you know that picking up the ball bearings in the morning will take you a little bit of time.
I'll still do it anyway.
Okay. No, it's just it's very easy to dump them out, but it takes time to gather up 1,000 ball bearings.
Unless you have the broom.
Do you have a broom?
I am a very extraordinarily talented rogue. No, I do not.
All right.
I feel like you're turning
He
more and
doesn't
more
even have
into
a
a bard.
tail he can use as a broom.
I am human.
Yeah.
If I had a tail, this would be a different type of campaign.
But I think Orion has a tail that's your tail is short, right? Ash,
What?
your tail is a short. You have a tail, but it's a short tail, right?
It's a long tail, like a lion.
I thought you said short tail. I'm sorry. Yeah, if it's a long
No,
tail
no.
like a lion, then you could definitely sweep the floor with that, because that means you and Grog can both.
Yeah,
Sweep
but
the
I'm
floor with
not. I'm not about to sweep floor for someone else.
I
Well,
know.
we all have
Not
separate
about being
rooms.
paid.
No,
Well,
No,
we all
if
have
I'm
separate
getting paid,
rooms,
maybe.
so
yeah. So I think this is one of the few campaigns that I'm running where I think only one of you has dark vision.
Oh, fun.
You're gonna be
No.
a very maybe two of you. You're still gonna be a very torch heavy party. Because you have two
Mm.
firbolgs, a Goliath, and a human, which means at least 4 people with that dark vision.
Well, I hope
I
they can
level up.
share
I
a
can.
lit stone.
And don't forget the
someone can cast light, can't they?
I can.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I'll light them a stone.
That's good.
and that
One
what the
stone to
stone
share
lasts
for the
for
4 of
8
you.
hours.
No, it's until it's dispelled or cast again.
Okay.
There's no limit
Then
on the light cantrip.
I thought there was, but I could have been
Mhm.
mistaken.
No, if I were to light a stone, it would stay lit until I cast light again, or until I remove the light from the stone.
So there, we have a way around that darkness.
That's good. Those are things to keep in mind. Other things to keep in mind will be things like food and water. You currently have a druid in your party, which means that at least some of that can be
Good
taken
berry.
care of. But of course, that does cast spells per day. So if you're running trouble out there, you won't be able to use the good berry that evening to get your things. You still might want to stock up on something, or prepare
Uh,
yourselves for a hunt.
I have a
Or
question for
before
you.
we set out,
Yes.
she can
What
cast
what
good
question do you
berry.
have?
About the
But I'm.
money, did we have to roll something for money? Because I have only the starting money.
At the moment, you have starting money. Yes.
That's
Okay.
50 gold.
No,
I
no,
have
Oh,
you didn't
135
you
gold.
didn't. Ash didn't get the
50 gold?
No, no, no. Ash didn't receive the 50 gold. Ash was not with you when the 50 gold was handed out.
Yep.
That's nice.
I'm also Outlander. I have the Outlander feature, which lets me find food up for 5 people once per day, if the terrain permits me to.
And there'll be
Food and water.
There'll be a minimum of 6 people in your party, and any guides you happen to hire will be an additional person. Some of those guides,
The
though,
guides will have to pay.
yeah,
Well, I guess Dunk's going to have to fend for himself.
yeah, the guides might be able to fend for themselves depending on what guides you pick up. Because so far you've got 2 people you might want to guide you that are independently found by members of your party. And there might be
You're welcome, by the way.
a different guide that you might want. It'll all depend. But those are things to keep in mind over the next week for what you wish to get to accomplish for next session. We could also, if you guys wish to streamline the buying of certain things, I can put
Okay.
together a channel for that. I prefer interacting. If you're actually going to do the whole road of interacting with somebody, even if it's to buy stuff, like, versus just buying stuff. Like, if you're looking for information, most of the time I prefer doing that in session, just because it's more interesting that way. But if you just want to, like, buy this and that, and don't really want to burden the rest of the party with, okay, I'm going to this store and I'm buying this, this, and this, then we can just have some out of character buying shops information for when you're in Port Nazir. How's that
So,
sound?
question real quick.
Yep.
Our party size is what, 6?
6 people. Yes, there's 6 players.
So, our Outlander has taken care of the party itself.
The Outlander can only
Yeah,
get food
5
for
other people.
Oh, for 5 other
Six-
people. So that's 6
Six
people
total
altogether.
people.
Okay, that's
Yes.
good.
I'm an outlander as well.
Then between the two of you,
Never mind.
between the two of you,
We
you'll
can-
be able to get enough food for everybody.
We can feed the entire party.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
a ranger, so I can shoot food.
Mhm.
And I'm a druid, so I can find. So hopefully I can find plants.
Yeah, and just as a reminder again, when it comes to eating new foods and drinking new things, pretty much the only one of you that has either an advantage or won't need to roll while here in Schultz would be Ash, because Ash is used to the surrounding environment and knows what foods they can eat, what foods Orion can eat, and what foods Orion can't eat. The rest of you, you're still playing. You're still playing Russian
Hot
roulette.
potato?
Yeah, or hot potato, whatever. With finding out if the food agrees with you, whether you can stomach it, or whether you have a violent allergic reaction that can potentially kill you.
Oh my goodness.
Well, no one has died yet from an allergic reaction in any of my games, but some of them have had inconvenient spouts of vomiting. I think one person was so violently ill after eating something that they weren't familiar with that they hemorrhaged blood, and that wasn't good.
Yeah, no, totally. I get it. That's still funny.
Yeah.
So what about purified food and water? Is that gonna
Purified food and
prevent
water
that?
would be no. Purified food and water would only go good against toxin. It will not help you against an allergy. It helps against general toxins that things that are poisonous to almost everybody, versus something that versus something that's a allergy to only one person or maybe 2 of you. I would also like to say that if you use purified food and water in one of my games, you shouldn't use that on alcohol, because purified food and water can sometimes turn alcohol into water.
Noted.
Well-
I got purified food and water. I think that's going to be useful too.
Yeah,
Well,
Yes,
most of the time,
definitely.
alcohol itself is already kind of purified
well, it's
from
also
the original source.
it's also treated as a mild poison, and I think of purified food and water as something that gets rid of poison.
Poison and disease, yeah.
Yep. So therefore, it destroys alcohol.
I mean, but technically, isn't like an allergic reaction a type of poison?
No.
As I was just pointing out, an allergic reaction that only one person, even in the same family group, would have, is so localized the spell doesn't treat it like that. Or else you would basically have no nutritional value in any food you're eating, because it would be purified as something that might potentially poison somebody. So it's basically, if the spellcaster, on the other hand, happened to be allergic to something, I would rule that allergen alone would be pushed out of it, but that also might destroy the nutritional value of said food. So it'd be the equivalent of eating candy at that point.
I don't think it's necessarily because the food is poison. It's your own body's reaction to the food.
Exactly, that's my point. So the spellcaster who cast it, if they're allergic to that food, it might purify it, but then it would get rid of the protein in that food, or whatever the allergen is, the actual allergen in the food. Thus, the food would be useless after that.
Well, I honestly, I would think nothing would happen because the food itself is fine. There's no
Yeah.
there's no
No,
poison.
but like I said, if the person who cast the spell happened to be allergic to that food,
Yeah.
the spell would then read that person's toxic reaction and purify it based on that person.
Okay.
So it's like, for example, if, let's say, a rock elemental had the ability to cast purify food and water, and the rock elemental ate like crystals and what like that. something else that's toxic to a human, would that spell wouldn't you think that that spell would like get rid of like bits of lichen on that rock that the creature might be poisoned by because it eats rock? Or would you, or if it was like a human, it would be eliminating the toxic metals in that rock that rock creature needed. So I kind of treat that spell that way. It's like it's really based on on the
Okay, that
caster.
makes sense. Caster and intent.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So that'll be good for this week because I think with everybody being asleep and got in their rooms and all that, that best to start again fresh next week with you guys deciding on getting back together and deciding on your guides. And I said we'll do I'll put together a downtime activity thread where you can buy basically meant for buying stuff that you don't want to worry about buying in character because you're not worrying about actually interacting with the shopkeepers. You're just buying X, Y, and Z. And I'll just give like small information about where you go to get that. And then later during the session, if you decide, oh whoops, I also need this, then you can play that out in session that you're also buying that at the same time. Does that
It's
work
all good
okay
for
for you
me.
guys?
Next week, you say?
Yes.
It's all good for
All right.
me. If I'm correct, I mean, I hope nothing will come up. Again, I'm sorry for tonight. I had completely forgot my own little brother's birthday.
That's okay. That's
I'm
fine.
awful.
Yeah, you are. Oh my
Oh
god.
Shame on
yeah,
you.